My name is Katie. I am working as a nurse. My husband is Jack. Jack is currently a full-time house husband. Not long ago, Jack was working as an employee, but he quit his job on his own accord, saying that he didn't get along with his newly transferred boss. When Jack told me about this, I was that he had quit his job without core me, but I tried to think positively, thinking that it was probably a good decision that he has made the decision to quit before he becomes depressed. Besides, even though Jack doesn't have any income anymore, I myself work as a nurse at the hospital that we are living in. The house that we are living in was given to me by my mother, who passed away. So we don't have to pay rent, which is enough to make a good living. Tone honest at first was anxious, stressed that my husband was not for anymore, but since he was doing a G with the housework, I was getting used to it. Then one day, I came home from work to find my sister-in-law, Brittany, visiting.
Welcome home, honey. Hope you had a great day at work. I think I didn't tell you that Britt is coming over. I am sorry. I forgot to tell you. Haha.
To be honest, I was upset with Jack because it seemed like he didn't care, and it had been a while since I had seen him so cheerful.
I see. It's totally fine. But from next time, could you tell me about it in advance?
When I told him that, Jack told me would do so and told Brittany to star home.
When Jack told her that, Brittany said, "Already, I don't want to go home yet. Since this house has enough space, I think I'll stay overnight."
I looked at Jack's face and in a part told her, No, it's too sudden. For today, please go home.
When Jack told her that, Brittany glared and went home angrily.
Why did Brittany come over today? I think it's quite a distance for you over. On?
Actually, I'm not sure if it's a good idea to use this method. Since she had nowhere else to go, she decided to move in with my parents. However, since their apartment was so small, they asked her to find a job as soon as possible. She feels very unwelcome, and I feel for her.
I listened to my husband and got frustrated because I couldn't understand why. He was feeling sorry for her, but then Jack apologized for today.
I have been searching but couldn't find, and I wanted someone to listen to change, so I let her in.
I was angry with Jack for being so selfish, but I was convinced that this time he would come through and said, okay, it's true that it's better to have than being alone in that kind of sit. But next time, make sure you call me her leave before I get back, okay?
Maybe, am I spoiling Jack too much? I thought about it, but I made sure I informed you before, so I stopped talking about it to him any further. 2 days later, Jack texted me while work.
Hey, hope your day is going great. Brittany is saying that she wants to over. If that is okay with you, you're working until 9 p.m. tonight, right? I will make sure to have her leave 9.
2 days ago, she came back.
Jack said he would ensure that Brittany left before 9 p.m. But I was worried about how long she planned to stay. However, I'm fine now. Make sure she will leave as soon as possible.
I really didn't want Brittany to come since seeing Jack. So happy about it. Let him enjoy his time with his sister. At work, it was so busy that I completely forgot about Brittany coming over. But then when I got home, there she was.
Why are you still here?
My husband realized I was in a bad soon as I got home, so he panicked. I'm so sorry. I've been asking a lot of advice from people without checking the time. Brittany will be leaving now, you see.
Jack looked at Brittany and she smiled. Yeah, she said, I'll go home with you.
Brittany, acting all annoyed, packed he and left.
I didn't like her attitude. What's up with her? This is not her house. Doesn't she have any sense to herself?
When I said this, Jack said you are too much. She came all the way out here just out.
When Jack said that, I thought it didn't have to be at our house. They could have gone somewhere else. Then I was too tired and said, "That's fine." "Sorry," I said too much. "I am too tired today, so I am just, get my rest." I
I think Jack wanted to say something, but I was too tired, so I went to bed.
Next day, I had a day off, so I was at home when Jack said about yesterday's accident. When I thought about what happened, wrong. I thought about you and Brittany getting together yesterday, but it wasn't a good time.
Since I hadn't seen Jack in a while and I hadn't realized her, wanted me to get along with Brittany. He said, "Oh, that's why. I have been so busy that I haven't had time to do anything for you. I did say too much yesterday. I am sorry."
Jack was happy that we were able to out, so he said, "Okay, today I'll be making your favorite meatball pasta. Coming right up."
After this, he started cooking and phone rang.
"Who called?"
When I asked him, he said, "Oh."
Since I had a very bad feeling about, didn't want him to pick it up, but maybe it is urgent.
As Jack checks on me, he picked up.
I couldn't hear what Brittany was saying on the call. It ended quickly.
I asked Jack if he had anything to tell me, and he replied that she had something to say. So she is coming over here now.
I didn't understand why I had to take a day off, so I was irritated, but S was already coming over now. I couldn't do anything about it.
I will go make Brittany's pasta also.
Jack said happily and started to cook. He didn't realize that I was upset, and I understand why he didn't refuse her coming over, but I thought this was something that I should have told her myself. After 10 minutes, the doorbell rang. Since our house was far away from Wi-Fi, Brittany was staying, so I didn't expect it to be Brittany who was at the door. She had big luggage with her and had a very bad feeling about it. But she entered the house. Jack was still preparing the lunch, Brittany, myself.
What happened?
Brittany looks like she is crying, and actually, I got kicked out from my...
They kicked me out because they said I had no right to stay in their house because I wasn't working. They are such horrible parents, right?
My bad feelings were coming true as she walked out, and then Jack said, "What the hell? Family is about helping each other. They are such horrible parents."
I was ticked off by what Jack said. It was none of my business, but I kept quiet and listened. Brittany said, "You see, I have nowhere to go."
I absolutely didn't want Brittany to us and tried to refuse, but before Jack said, "Well, then there's no choice but for you to stay with us. Luckily, we have a spare room, so staff from today." I glared at Jack, and he asked me what that facial expression meant. Brittany is in need of help.
As he said that, I couldn't take it and said, "What are you saying? Don't make this decision on your own. Jack, you're not working and Brian aren't working either, right? I can't support two people on my salary alone."
At that moment, something hit me on, and I didn't know what happened, but Brittany said, "Jack, don't throw an egg at her. Haha."
She was laughing at me hysterically. I touched my hair. I felt the egg.
It's your fault, Mary. Be nicer to Brittany. If you are going to have horrible with Brittany, we are getting divorced. If we get divorced, you know that you'll have to leave this house, right?
Jack looked at me triumphantly and looked at me with satisfaction.
Since I kept quiet, the two thought was convinced by them and asked, "Ma, you ready to apologize to us? If so, then just go take shower. And then we can eat the meatballs that we've prepared and start talking about how three of us are going to live together."
Jack happily finished his prep lunch while Brittany snickered at me as I started to relax on the couch, watching. I had something to say to the both, but for now I just took Brittany's L, threw it off the balcony.
The two were surprised by the sudden sound and asked, "What are you doing? You must be out of your mind."
He panicked and told me to go get the gun that was thrown out, but I said, "What? Why should I have to go get it? This is my house. I won't allow you to do anything.
Then Jack said, "What are you saying? This is our house as husband and wife. So this is my house too, and I'm a sister who stays at her own house. I just scoffed and laughed at them, saying, "What?"
Don't you know that I am the owner house? This house was given to me by my mo. You have no right to it.
Jack and Brittany looked surprised at each other. "Oh no, that's not right. We didn't make me the owner of this."
Even if that is the case, since you still marry couples, it doesn't matter, you know.
They both started mumbling. So I said, house is my house anyway. If you really want to live with your sister, why don't you rent a house together? Besides, why should I take care of those who don't work at all? Jack, you've been working hard on your quit work, so I didn't say anything. But recently you aren't doing any work at all too. Honestly, I would be worried if you were still working that hard.
When I told Jack what I've been thinking for a while, Jack said, "Oh, really? So that's what you've been thinking, huh? Well, I don't want a wife who doesn't care about my family and can't even say thank you to me for taking care of the house."
As he said that, he took out a device. As I was thinking about how to prepare for the divorce, my sister-in-law walked up to me with a big smile on her face.
"I've already written my part, so have to do is to fill your part in. I'll give you some time to think about it, but you don't have any other choice. Just let me know when you're ready to go ahead with the apps, okay?"
After they said that, they both left. I quickly took a shower, completed the paper, and went to submit it. I think my husband showed me the divorce papers to scare and threaten me. Even though it was her idea, Jack went through with it and wanted a husband who would do something like that for his own wife.
A few days later, Jack called saying, "Are you ready to apologize? I really don't have any time for this. Shouldn't you be the one calling me?"
I was so angry with Jack, who had looked down on me, that I said, "You're calling all of a sudden. Why should I contact you? Who is just a stranger to me now?"
When I told him that, he said, "What, mean a stranger? Is there something wrong with your haha?"
Jack doesn't seem to understand the situation he's in, so I suggest telling him nicely.
I submitted the divorce papers, and they were finalized, so now you and I are strangers to each other. Oh, by the way, I already sold my 8. Even if you try to get back, there's no point. I also quit my job and starting a new one elsewhere. Oh yes, I have sent all of your belongings to your parents, and I believe they will arrive soon. I'm a bit worried though, because your parents' place is small, so will it fit?
Jack had no idea what was happening. Sounded like he was quarreling with on the other end of the phone.
Anyway, you're the one who suggested getting a divorce in the first place. I have nothing to say to you anymore since I want nothing to do with you be blocking you. Goodbye.
My ex-husband was yelling about something that wasn't any of my business, so I just blocked his number. A few months later, I had a chance to visit the place where I used to live. And on my way home, I stopped at a supermarket where I found someone with to be working.
It seems that Jack made a mistake at work and someone was saying this to him. How many times do I have to tell you to understand? Don't make me repeat myself again and again.
Jack was being warned by a woman who was younger than him, while other workers on the scene chuckled. I felt a little bad for him seeing his situation, but there's nothing I can do about it because he's just a stranger now. Perhaps if Jack had thought a little more about how to deal with his sister, this might not have happened. But in any case, now I'm divorcing him because I'm enjoying my newfound freedom.